Hey, hello again, and welcome back to Summer Math Camp, another topic of Summer Math Camp. Here we go. I am going to put types 4, 5, and 2-step and 3-step solving equations all together, okay? This is for the 7th and 8th graders, and you guys have been doing so well with solving equations, I thought, you know what, we just need to kick it up a notch, and you are ready for this, so we're going to do this. Here we go. One-step equations, type 4 is what they call it on Delta Math. Okay, here we need to solve for r. Notice where r is on this side of the equal sign. We need to isolate r. We need to get r by itself. Notice that r is being divided by -6. So to undo that, what we're going to do is multiply both sides by this denominator. So I'm going to multiply this side times -6 and this side times -6. So the -6, this is like -6 over 1. So these two cancel out. So I just get r equals, now here 5 times -6 is going to give us a -30. So that's going to be your solution for that. Notice if you were to check that and put in -30 for r, -30 divided by -6, does that equal our original problem of 5? And yes, it does. So it checks out. So you would put in -30 when you submit your answer. Okay, now let's try another one similar to that. This time, the variable term is over on the right side of the equal sign. But again, we have w divided by 3. Okay, to solve for w, we're going to multiply both sides by 3, because that's like multiplying by 3 over 1. So the 3's cancel, and I get w over here equals 21. So that is your solution. W equals 21. Okay, that's that type. They call that type 4. I'm going to have you do some of those. Now, type 5 looks like this. You have a fraction coefficient with the variable. Okay, when you have a fraction coefficient, you're going to want to multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 4/3 is 3/4. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3/4. So notice what that does. The 4's cancel and become 1. The 3's cancel and become 1. So on the left side, I have a equals. Now we need to take -6 times 3/4. That's like -6 over 1. Okay, when I multiply across, I'm going to do it this way before I cancel. -6 times 3 is -18 divided by 4. Now that's reducible. They want you to simplify your answer completely. I can divide top and bottom by 2. -18 divided by 2 is -9. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I'm going to submit my answer, -9 divided by 2, and it'll automatically pull up a -9/2. So that is going to be our answer, -9/2. Okay, let's try another one like that. Over here, my reciprocal, well actually, okay, my variable term is over on the right side of the equal sign. So I look at the coefficient of the variable, and it's a fraction, -2/9. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. Okay, now the reciprocal of a negative is still a negative. So I'm going to multiply by -9/2. So notice over here, a negative times a negative is a positive. And the 2's cancel and the 9's cancel, so I just get a positive 1x. Over here, remember that's 12 over 1. So when I multiply 12 times 9, 9 times 2 is 18, carry the 1. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So I get a -108 divided by 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Now that is reducible because 108 is even. So if I take 108 divided by 2, 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, you get 0, then you have an 8. Well, 2 times 4 is 8, so I have 0 remainder. So my answer is -54. And that's what you'll put in on Delta Math. Okay, so that's what you do for types 4 and 5. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to two-step equations. Okay, let me autofocus. There we go. Okay, Here, we have to do two steps. First thing you have to do is isolate the variable term. Isolate variable term. Here's my variable term, negative 3y. I need to isolate that. That means I need to get it by itself. So I need to first get rid of this term. So to get rid of a negative 9, I'm going to have to add 9 to both sides of the equation. So 18 plus 9 is 27. That equals, I still have a negative 3y. This minus is the same thing as plus negative 3y, so I still have a negative 3y on the right side. Now you know how to solve this. Divide both sides by the coefficient of the variable. Divide by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is a positive 1y. 27 divided by negative 3 is negative 9. So that would be your answer for this. Notice if you were to check it, 18, does that equal negative 9 minus 3 times negative 9? Because I'm putting in what we got for y, and I'm starting with the original problem. So does 18 equal? Okay, I have negative 9. Now I have a negative 3 times a negative 9, because that's like plus negative 3. So a negative 3 times a negative 9, a negative times a negative is a positive 27. And notice over here, negative 9 plus 27 is 18, so it checks out. Okay? Hit pause and try this one on your own, and then hit restart and see if you get it right. Okay, welcome back. Let me walk through the steps and see if you got it. Here we're going to isolate the variable term. Here the variable term is on the left side of the equal sign. We need to get rid of this 4. This is a positive 4, so I need to subtract 4 from both sides. 4 minus 4 gives me 0, so I just have 7x equals negative 12 minus 4 is negative 16. Now we have to divide by the coefficient of the variable. We have to divide by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so I just have 1x equals. Now, negative 16 over 7 does not reduce. There's not a factor that they share. So we're just going to enter our answer as negative 16 over 7, and that will be your answer. Okay, so that is two-step equations. Now, let's tackle three-step equations. Okay, what we're going to do, notice they call it 3 steps because you have variables on both sides of the equal sign. Okay, what we want to do is get variable terms together and constants together. Get variable terms together. Okay, I was always taught to move the variable terms to the left. So when you see me do that, that's why. I always move the variable terms to the left, and I was always taught to move those first. So I see that I have a variable term on the right side of the equal sign. I want to move it over here. Here it's a negative 2x, so I'm going to want to add 2x to both sides. 3x plus 2x gives me 5x. I still have the minus 1 equals. A negative 2 and a positive 2 gives me 0, so those essentially are gone. And then I have it equals 39. Okay, now we're back to like a two-step equation. We have one variable term here. I need to isolate it, so I need to add 1 to both sides. So over here, I have 5x equals 39 plus 1 is 40. Okay, we just have one more step. We need to divide by the coefficient of the variable. So I need to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1x equals 40 divided by 5 is 8. So your solution, your answer is x equals 8. And there again, if we were to check it, I have 3 times 8 minus 1. Does that equal negative 2 times 8 plus 39? Okay, let's check it out. 3 times 8 is 24. So 24 minus 1. Does that equal negative 2 times 8 is negative 16 plus 39? Okay, 24 minus 1 is 23. Does that equal negative 16 plus 39? Well, let's do this. 39 minus 16. 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. It's a positive 39, so it's a positive 23. Yay! And it does check out, so we got it right. That's one of the things I love, love, love about math. You can plug in your answer and see if it's correct. Now, I haven't shown the check on every single problem, but I'm just letting you know it's really nice to check your answer, especially if you're taking a test or doing a standardized test. You can always check your answer and see if it works. Okay, let's do this one. Here again, I was always taught to move the variable terms to the left side of the equal sign, and I always was taught to make that my first step, get variable terms together. Now this indicates a negative 1x. It won't have the 1 typed in, but it is a negative 1x. So to move that variable term over here, I'm going to add 1x to both sides. Negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7x minus 3 equals negative 1x plus 1x goes away, so that equals 5. Okay, now I just have one variable term over here. I need to isolate it, so I need to add 3. So I have negative 7x, because those two go away. 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay, now we just need to divide by the coefficient, negative 7. So x equals, now that does not reduce, so I'm going to enter it as negative 8/7 and leave it as an improper fraction. Do not make it a mixed number. Just leave it like that. Okay, that takes care of that. I threw a lot of information there at you, and I didn't do a lot of problems. I appreciate you sticking with me while we work through some easier stuff earlier on in the week, but we really need to get those basics down pat before we can move on to stuff like this. So rewatch the video if you need to. Give these a shot, and I think you guys are going to do great. Let me see what I can find here. Oh, now that's just cute. I don't know what that is, but that's just cute. It's got a body with a whole bunch of eyes. Okay. All right. You guys have a great day. Okay. Bye-bye.